Today we're going to talk about ATP testing and the tools that you will need to have a successful ATP test before and after. Right now we'll talk about the tools that are needed to test a surface, and then later we're going to go out to a different part of the facility and test it on some real-world bacteria. Step number one, this is not a product placement video for someone else's equipment, but these are the products that we use. One thing that you're going to need is an ATP reader. This is technically called a luminometer, made by Hygiena. We use the System Sure Plus. Simple device to operate. You have a power switch. It's going to turn on. Right now it's telling me that the lid is open. Pretty straightforward. This is actually the swab. An ATP swab looks like a long Q-tip. We're going to swab the floor a little bit later and show you, and then there is liquid in the cap that you need to break that goes down into the vial. The swab goes into the machine, you close the lid, and it's going to start reading. When you order the swabs, they come in packs of 100, and they do have an expiration date. Right? We ordered some new swabs. You're going to have 4 packets of 25. An important thing to note about your swabs is that they do need to stay refrigerated. They can't get too hot and they can't be frozen. So make sure that if you're transporting these to a demonstration, that you're using a cooler and that you keep them in the fridge when not in use. For the purpose of our test today, to show before and after results using an ATP meter, we're going to use a hamburger patty, and we're also going to use a raw chicken breast. We're going to smear those around on the floor, get them nice and juicy, right? Get some good residual germs on the floor, okay? Then we're going to go ahead and measure, got it right there. We're going to go ahead and measure a before reading, and then we'll show you what it looks like after we've cleaned the floor. Good to go? Good to go. Hey, so we're going to start with box number 1 where we had the raw beef hamburger patty. Swabs removed, you're going to want to go ahead, I'm going to get this chunk of beef right there. You want to go ahead and coat the swab on both sides. Rub it around in about a 2-inch square, okay? And then you're going to place it back into the vial. Plastic on top, crack it both ways. It's going to release the liquid down into the bottom. Shake it for approximately 10 seconds. After that, we're going to place it into the reader, and we're going to get a reading. Hit the OK button. You want to hold the unit upright. Counts down from 15. There you go, 170, okay? So that's box number 1 is 170. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this swab and discard it. Move over to here to where the raw chicken was. Repeat the process. .301, box number 2 where the raw chicken was. Okay, so obviously we know now by using our ATP meter that we have verified we've got a couple really dirty spots on the floor. What we're going to use today to clean this up and sanitize and disinfect the floor is our Mini HD. It's set up with the O3 Plus system. That's onboard soap, but it also has onboard aqueous ozone generated on demand at over 2 parts per million when you have the switch all the way up on the side of the control panel. So the machine is filled with cold water only. We're going to go ahead and turn on our ozone. We're going to double scrub this spot and then see what our ATP readings are afterwards. Stay tuned. Okay, so we went ahead and did a double scrub on our floor using just the ozone that the machine generates on demand out of cold water. Okay, so we did a double scrub. We're gonna go ahead and do the ATP reading process now with a clean floor, and we're gonna see what the readings get. Doing a 2-inch square, getting the swab coated on both sides, back in the vial, pop the cap. We're gonna shake for roughly 10 seconds. While that one's reading, I'm gonna go ahead and swab where the hamburger patty was. Back in the vial. All right, you can see chicken went down to 0. Place this back in. Now we'll see what the patty comes in at. Zero also.